Shalom, children. In our story last time, Yeshua was telling the crowd several parables. We heard how a landowner had sent servants to collect the grape harvest, but the tenants had rejected the servants, beaten them, or killed them. Yeshua then told how a king's invitation to a marriage feast was ignored, and once again the servants who brought the message had been killed. Yeshua was preparing the people by foretelling what was about to happen in Jerusalem at the time of the Pesach sacrifice. That year, when all the lambs were inspected to make sure that they were without blemish before being sacrificed, Yeshua was also going to be inspected, and when he was found without fault, he too was going to be killed. Yeshua was going to become our Pesach. Children, do you remember back in Mitzrayim, the night before the Israelites were led out by Adonai? They had been instructed to take a lamb, kill it, and put some of the blood onto the lintel and the sides of the door. Adonai told them, when the destroyer passes through the land to kill every firstborn, he would Pesach over those doors and not let the destroyer in. This is rather like a mother bird fluttering over her chicks in the nest, protecting them from harm. When Yeshua gave these parables, the Pharisee leaders had understood he was speaking against them, and so they had gathered to conspire how to catch Yeshua out once and for all. After some discussion, they had come up with a very devious plan. The Pharisees sent their students and some of the Herodians to Yeshua. Now Herodians were Jewish people who were not following Torah. Instead, they believed in the Roman way of life and supported the Roman government. And they did not take kindly to anyone speaking against Herod. Normally, these two groups of people would never come together. But on this day, they put aside their differences in their attempt to trip Yeshua up. "Master," they said to Yeshua, "we know that you are upright and teach the way of Yah in truth. Tell us therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful to give tribute, that is, pay the special Roman tax to Caesar, or not?" What a sneaky trick! Everyone thought the special tax was a terrible burden, but speaking out and saying it was so would get you arrested. If Yeshua said, "No, it's not lawful," he would be taken by the Herodians and handed over to the soldiers. But if he said it is lawful and we all should pay it, well, the people who followed him would be very upset and more than likely stop listening to his teachings about the way to the kingdom. Yeshua knew what they were up to and was not taken in when they tried to flatter him with their words. No, instead, he asked them to bring him a denarius coin. When they had brought it to him, he pointed to it, saying, "Whose image is on the coin?" They all answered, "Caesar's." Yeshua declared, "Give to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and give to Yah the things that belong to Yah." Well, that closed their crafty conversation. Now they would have to come up with a different way to have him arrested. I do hope Nicodemus was there and heard what Yeshua said to his fellow Pharisees. If so, he would have remembered the conversation he had some time before when Yeshua told him a man must be born from above in order to see and understand the reign of Elohim. Do you remember the story? Nicodemus had wondered how a man could be born a second time. So Yeshua had explained that life is not just eating and being concerned with our physical needs. We must pay attention to the spiritual part of ourselves. So when the king of the land asks for tax payment from the people, they give it. And when the heavenly king asks for his people to listen and obey, they do that for him. One of the sages, that is a man who knew the law and advised the Pharisees, went to Yeshua and asked him, "What is the number one commandment from Yahweh?" Yeshua said, "You shall love Adonai your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might." Do you recognize those words? They are part of the prayers called the Shema and the V'ahavta. Let's listen together.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise.
Yeshua said, "This is the most important commandment, and the second is like it. You should love your neighbor as yourself." He added, "On these two commandments hang all the Torah and the prophets." To help us understand, let's imagine those two commandments at the top, and hanging just underneath are the 10 commandments found in the book of Shemot. Then, when we hear any instructions from the Torah or the prophets and the writings, they can be filed underneath here or here. And there we have it. On these two commandments hang all the Torah and the prophets and the writings. The sage replied, "Well said, Master, you have spoken the truth. Loving Adonai and neighbor is far greater than all the burnt offerings we can sacrifice." Yeshua told him, "You are not far from the kingdom of Yah." Well, children, that is the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting journey in the life of Yeshua. Shalom.
Shema Yisrael